lads have had a meeting in the bar and decided it's first class family entertainment. But if it goes on 10:30, it's self-indulgent. Pass it on. I'm on my own tonight. Don't mind if I join you.
Hello, Burgoot.
Where's Higgs?
I'm standing in tonight.
Where's Higgs?
Every time.
What?
It's as if we both combine to achieve continuity. I keep space warm for Higgs. My presence defines his absence. His absence confirms my presence. His presence precludes mine. The day Higgs and I walk down this aisle together to claim our common seat, the oceans will fall into the sky and the trees will hang with the fishes.
Yes, well, where's Higgs?
The sight of me with a complimentary ticket is enough. The streets are impassable tonight. The country is rising, the cry goes from hill to hill. Where is Higgs? Perhaps he's dead at last. I'm trapped in a list somewhere. Succumb to amnesia, wandering the land with his trousers stuffed with ticket stubs.
Yes, well, I didn't bring Myrtle tonight. Not exactly her cup of tea, I thought. It's all right.
Oh, over her head, you mean?
It's sort of a thriller, isn't it?
Is it?
It's what I heard. Who killed thing? No one will leave the room?
I suppose so. Underneath.
Underneath? It's a whodunit, man. Look at it. Has it started yet?
Yes.
Are you sure?
It's a pause.
You can't start with a pause. If you want my opinion, there's total panic back there. So where's Higgs then?
It will follow me to my grave and become my epitaph. Here lies Moon, the second string. Where's Higgs? Sometimes I dream of revolution, a bloody coup d'etat by the second rank, troops of actors slaughtered by their understudies, magicians sawn in half by their untiring, smiling glamour girls, and champions chopped down by rabbit-punching sparring partners, while eternal bridesmaids turn and rape the bridegrooms over sausage rolls. In March, an army of assistants and deputies, the seconds in command, the right-hand men, the runners-up, storming the palace gates where the second son has already committed regicide with a croquet mallet. Stand-ins in the world, stand up! Sometimes I dream of Higgs.
Have a chocolate.
What kind?
Godiva.
No, thank you.
I'll give you a tip then. Watch the girl.
You think she did it?
No, the girl. Watch her.
What girl?
You won't know her. I'll give you a nudge.
Oh, you know her, do you?
What's that supposed to mean?
I beg your pardon.
For God's sake, Moon, you could do yourself some good spotting your first time out.
I'm sorry.
She's new. From the provinces, going straight to the top. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but a word from us and we could make her.
I suppose you made dozens of them like that.
I'll have you know I'm a family man. To put us my home, leave a good-natured wife. And if you'll suggest this man of my scrupulous morality, falsely besmirched.
Is that her?
What? No, don't be absurd. It wouldn't be confident with you.
What's this drudge the hell?
We interrupt our program for a special police message. The search still goes on for the escaped madman who is on the run in Essex. County police, led by Inspector Hound, have received a report that the man has been seen in the desolate marshes around Muldoon Manor. The man is wearing a lighter suit with a lightish shirt. He is a medium height and build and youngish. Anyone seeing a man answering to this description and acting suspiciously is advised to phone the nearest police station. That is the end of the police message.
So that's what they say about me, is it? What? I know what goes on behind my back. Sniggers, slanders, hole-in-the-corner innuendo. What have you heard?
Nothing.
Tittle-tattle. Tittle, my dear fellow, tattle. I take no notice of it. The sly envy of scandalmongers. I can afford to ignore them. I'm a respectable married man.
Incidentally.
Water off a duck's back, I'll assure you.
Who was that lady I saw you with last night?
How dare you! How dare you! Don't you go near with your slimy insinuations. My wife Myrtle understands perfectly well that a man of my critical standing is obliged to occasionally mingle with the world of the footlights. I'm sorry. Simply by way of keeping au fait with the world of painting mouth. That a critic of my scrupulous integrity should be vilified and pilloried as stocks of common gossip. I have nothing to hide. Why, this should reach the ears of my beloved Myrtle.
Can I have a chocolate?
What? Yes, well, yes, let's have a chocolate. No point in... Yes. Good job.
Yeah.
Which do you fancy? Cherry? Strawberry? Coffee cream? Turkish delight?
I'll have the Monte Lamar.
Oh. Sorry.
Gooseberry fondue.
No?
Pistachio fudge.
No?
Nectarine cluster. Hickory nut praline. Chateau Neuf de Pot 55 cracknel.
I'm afraid not. Caramel?
Well, all right. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Incidentally, old chap, I'd be grateful if you didn't mention... I mean, you know how these misunderstandings get about.
What?
Well, the fact is, Myrtle simply doesn't like the theater.
By the way, congratulations, Brute.
What?
The Theatre Royale. Your entire review reproduced in neon.
That old thing.
Oh, you've seen it, of course.
Well, I was passing.
I definitely intend to take a second look, once it's settled down.
As a matter of fact, I have a few color snapshots. Don't whether you care to glance at it.
Yes, I'd love to, love to. Oh? Yeah, that's lovely. Awfully sound. All I ever got was unforgettable on the posters for a... What was that now?
Oh, yes. Was that you? I thought it was Higgs.
Hello? The country residence of Lady Muldoon? Hello? The drawing room of... Who? Whom did you wish to speak to? I'm sorry, there's no one by that name here. This is all very mysterious, and I'm sure it's leading up to something. I hope nothing is amiss, for we, that is Lady Muldoon and our house guests, are here, cut off from the world, including Magnus, the wheelchair-ridden half-brother of her ladyship's husband, Lord Albert Muldoon, who 10 years ago went out for a walk on the cliffs and was never seen again. Should a stranger enter our midst, which I very much doubt, I will tell him you called. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Simon Gascoigne. I hope you don't mind. The door was open, so I wandered in. I'm a friend of Lady Muldoon's, the lady of the house, having made her acquaintance through a mutual friend, Miss Felicity Cunningham, shortly after moving into the neighborhood the other day.
Oh, I'm Mrs. Drudge. I don't live in, but I pop in on my bicycle to help in the running of charming, though somewhat isolated, Muldoon Manor. Judging by the time, you did well to get here before high water cut us off for all practical purposes from the outside world.
Yes, well, I took a shortcut over the cliffs and followed one of the old smuggler's paths through the treacherous swamps that surround this strangely inaccessible house.
Yes, many visitors have remarked on the topographical quirk in the local strata. Why, but there are no roads leading from the manor, though there are ways of getting to it, weather allowing.
Yes, well, I must say it's a lovely day so far.
Oh, but now that the cuckoo beard is in bud, there'll be fog before sun hits Foster's Ridge.
I say, it's wonderful how you country people really know weather.
No weather what?
Yes, it does seem to be coming on a bit foggy.
The fog is very treacherous around here. It rolls off the sea without warning, shrouding the cliffs in a deadly mantle of blind men's buff.
Yes,
You know.
I've heard it said.
Well, the fog, it was on such a weekend as this. The fog was so treacherous. But Lord Albert Muldoon had brought his beautiful bride back to the home of his ancestors, but walked out on the cliffs 10 years ago and his body was never found.
Yes, indeed. Poor Cynthia.
His name was Albert.
Oh, yes, indeed. Poor Albert. But tell me, is Lady Muldoon about?
I believe she's playing tennis on the lawn with Felicity Cunningham.
Felicity Cunningham?
A mutual friend, I believe you said. A happy chance. I will tell them you're here.
Well, as a matter of fact, please, don't disturb them. I really should be off.
They would be very disappointed. It has been some time since there's been a for pontoon bridge at the manor. And I don't play cards myself.
Then there's another guest, then?
Major Magnus, the crippled half-brother of Lord Albert Muldoon, who turned up out of the blue from Canada just the other day, completes the house party.
I think I must be waiting for Higgs to die.
What?
Half afraid I'll vanish when he does.
Hello?
I wonder if it's the same for Puckridge.
Who?
Third string.
You're standing.
Does he wait for Higgs and I to write each other's obituaries? Does he dream?
Whom do you wish to speak to?
What's he like?
Bitter.
I'm sorry, there's no one here of that name.
No, what's Puckridge like as a critic?
Nobody knows.
You must have gotten the wrong number.
There's always been me and Higgs.
Simon Gascoigne. It's not him, of course.
What?
I said it's not him.
Who is it then?
My guess is Magnus.
In disguise, you mean?
What?
You think he's Magnus in disguise?
I don't think you're concentrating, Moon. For God's sake, you keep chattering on about Higgs and Puckridge. What's the matter with you?
I wonder if they talk about me.
Here is another police message. Essex County Police are still searching in vain for the madman who was at large in the deadly marshes of the coastal region. Inspector Hound, who is masterminding the operation, is not available for comment, but it is widely believed that he has a secret plan. Meanwhile, police and volunteers are combing the swamps with megaphones shouting, "Don't be a madman! Give yourself up!" That is the end of the police message.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I should think my name's seldom off Puckridge's lips. Sad, really. I mean, it's no life being a stand-in, stand-in.
Yes, yes.
And Higgs, he never gives me a second thought. I can tell by the way he nods.
Revenge, of course.
What?
Jealousy.
Nonsense, there's nothing personal in it.
The paranoid grudge.
It's merely not enough to wax another man's wing, to be on hand, on call, to step in or not at all, the substitute. For I am moon, continuous moon, in my own shoes, moon in June, April, September, and no member of the human race keeps my bit of space warm. Yes, you can tell by the way he nods.
Quite mad, of course.
What?
The answer lies out there in the swamps.
Oh.
The skeleton in the closet has come home to roost.
Oh, yes, yes.
Already in the opening stages, we notice the classic impact of the catalytic figure, the outsider, plunging through to the center of an ordered world, setting up the disruptions, the shockwaves, which...
Yes, well, here I am.
You must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered, but couldn't you wait till I got back?
There's something you don't know.
What is it?
Look, about the things I said, it may be that I got a little bit carried away. We both did.
What are you trying to say?
Yes, what is it?
I've come to set up the card table, sir.
I don't think that I can stay.
Oh, Lady Cynthia will be disappointed.
Does she know I'm here?
Oh, yes, I just told her and put her in quite a busy.
Really? Well, I suppose, now that I've cleared the air, quite a tizzy, you say, really? Really?
Felicity, she's the one.
Nonsense. Red herring.
No, it was her.
What was?
The lady I saw you with last night.
Are you suggesting that a man of my scrupulous integrity would trade his tent for a mess of pottage?
No.
Simply because in the course of my profession I've happened to struck up an acquaintance.
I'm
to add
sorry.
that is a warm regard, if you like, for a fellow toiler, the vineyard of grease paint.
I'm sorry.
I find it simply intolerably pilifying Villery in
I
this
never
study
implied.
to find myself the object of uninformed malice.
sorry.
The petty slanders of little men.
Please.
To suggest that my good opinion in a journal of unimpeachable integrity is at the disposal of the first coquette who gives me what I want. Oh, a ladies' man. Why, Myrtle and I have been together now for... Christ, who's that?
Simon.
Lady Muldoon.
No. I mean, who is she?
Cynthia.
Don't say anything for a moment.
Just hold me.
She's beautiful. A vision of eternal grace. A poet.
I think she has her mouth open.
We can't go on meeting like this.
We have nothing to be ashamed
But
of.
darling, this is madness.
Yes, I'm mad with love for you.
Please remember where we are.
Cynthia, I love you.
Don't. I love Albert.
He's dead. Do you understand me? Albert is dead.
No, I'll never give up hope. Let me go. We are not free.
I don't care. We were meant for each other had we but met in time.
Oh, you're a cad, Simon. You'll use me and cast me aside as you cast aside so many others.
No, Cynthia. You can make me a better person.
You're ruthless, so strong, so cruel.
The son she never had, transformed into this handsome lover, and projected as this, transformed into this beautiful person. Youth, vigor, the animal, the athlete is a steep, plunging into the deepest level of desire.
By Jove, I think you're right. Her mouth is open.
Stop, can't you see you're making a fool of yourself?
I'll kill anybody that comes between us.
Yes, what is it, Mrs. Drudge?
Should I close the windows, milady? The fog is beginning to roll up the sea.
Oh, yes, you'd better. It looks as if we're in for one of those days. Are the cards ready?
Yes, milady.
Would you tell Miss Cunningham we are waiting?
Yes, milady.
And fetch the major down.
I hear him coming downstairs now.
Never had a chance! Ran right out in front of the wheel! I have witnesses!
Darling, are you all right?
And I say I'm most frightfully sorry.
How long have you been a pedestrian?
Ever since I could walk.
Can you walk now? Thank God. Magnus, this is Simon Gascoigne.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up.
Really? How do you like it here?
I could stay forever.
So you're still here? Of course he's still here. We're going to play cards. There's no need to introduce you two, is there? I recall now that you, Simon, met me through Felicity, our mutual friend. Yes, Simon is an old friend. Though not as old as you, Cynthia, dear.
Yes, I haven't seen Felicity since.
Last night. Indeed? Well, you deal, Felicity. Simon was so bad. Will you partner Felicity, Magnus, against Simon and me?
Will Simon and you always be partnered against me, Cynthia?
What do you mean, Magnus?
You're a damned attractive woman, Cynthia.
Please, remember Albert.
Albert's dead, Cynthia. You are still young. I'm sure he would have wished that you would die.
No, Magnus, this is not to be.
It's Gascoigne, isn't it? I'll kill him if he comes between us.
Simon?
Simon's going to get it.
Right. Who starts?
I do, no bid.
Did I hear you say you saw Felicity last night, Simon?
Did I? Yes, quite. Your turn, Felicity.
I've had my turn, haven't I, Simon? Now it seems it's Cynthia's turn. That's my trick, Felicity, dear. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, Simon.
Yes, I've heard it said.
So I hope you've not been cheating, then, Simon.
No, Felicity. It's just that I hold the cards.
Well done, Simon. Strange how Simon appeared in the neighborhood. We know so little about him.
It doesn't always pay to show your hand.
Right. Simon, it's your opening on line a bid. I hear there's a dangerous madman on the loose. Simon?
Yes. Yes, sorry.
I'm Eld. Yes, personally, I think he's been hiding out in a deserted cottage on the cliffs.
Flush.
No, Simon, your luck's in tonight. We shall see. The night is not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
So, you're the crippled half-brother of Lord Muldoon, who turned up out of the blue from Canada the other day, are you? It's taken you an awful long time to get here. What did you do? Walk? I say, I'm most frightfully sorry.
Care for a spin around the rose garden, Cynthia?
No, Magnus, I must talk to Simon.
My round, I think. Major?
You think so?
Yes, Major, I do.
There's an old Canadian proverb, handed down from the Blackfoot Indians, which says, "He who laughs last, laughs longest."
Yes, I've heard it said.
Simon?
Well, I think I'll go and oil my gun.
I think Magnus suspects something. And Felicity. Simon, was there anything between you and Felicity?
No. It's over between her and me, Cynthia. It was a mere passing, fleeting thing we had. But now that I found you...
If I find that you've been untrue to me, if I find that you've falsely seduced me from my dear husband, Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne.
Camps around the old Vicar's opera cloak and passes me the tat.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
It's not that I think I'm a better critic.
I feel my whole life changing.
I am, but it's not that.
Oh, the world will laugh at me, I know.
And they are not in much way his shoes to step into.
Call me an infatuated old fool.
They are not.
Condemn me.
He's standing to my light, that is all.
Betrayer of my class.
An almost continuous eclipse, only interrupted by the phenomena of moonlight.
I don't care, I'm a goner, I tell you.
And I dream
Of the sweet madness of love.
of the day, of his temperature climbs to the roof of his head,
Myrtle, farewell.
spasm on the stairs,
For I only live but
a
once.
stair he shall never reach. And sometimes I dream I've killed him.
What?
What?
Yes, well,
Yes, a beautiful performance. Collector's piece, I shall say so.
yes, promising debut. I shall put in a good word.
It would be as hypocritical of me to withhold praise on the ground of personal feelings as it would to withhold censure.
You're right, courageous.
But I know what people will say. There goes Bird Boot, buttering up his latest.
Ignore them.
But I rise above that. And the fact is, I consider her performance to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theater.
Trim buttock, that's the word for her.
Theater sadness, the radiance.
Does she actually come across with it?
The part is written as a mere cipher, but she managed to make Cynthia a real person.
Cynthia?
And should she, as a result, care to meet me over a drink? Simply by way of thanking me, as it were.
Oh, you fickle little bastard.
Oh, you
you.
Coming along quite nicely, won't you say?
Yes. Nice trichotomy of forces. One must reserve judgment, though, until the final confrontation. But I think it's pretty clear where we're heading.
I agree. It's Magnus, a mile off.
What's Magnus a mile off?
If we knew that, we wouldn't be here.
Let me at once say that the play has elan, while at the same time avoiding eclat. And having said that, and I think it must be said, I am bound to ask, does this play know where it's going?
What seems open and shut to me, Moon. Magnus is not who he pretends to be. He's got his next victim marked down.
Does it, I repeat, declare its affiliations? There are moments, and I will not begrudge it this, that the play, if we can call it that, and I think on the balance we can, aligns itself uncompromisingly on the side of life. Je suis, it seems to be saying, ergo sum. But is that enough? I think we're entitled to ask for what, in fact, is this play concerned with. It is my belief here we are concerned with what I have referred to elsewhere as the nature of identity. I think we're entitled to ask, and here one is irresistibly reminded of Voltaire's cry, voila! I think we're entitled to ask, where is God?
Who?
God.
God?
I think we're entitled to ask.
Hello? The same later that evening? Sorry, there's no one by that name here. Black or white, my lady?
White, please.
Black or white, Major?
Wait, please.
Black or white, Miss?
White, please.
Sugar, my lady?
Yes, please.
Sugar.
Oh, yes, please.
Sugar.
Yes, please.
Biscuit, my lady.
No, thank you.
The second act, however,
If
fails.
you ask me, there's something funny going on.
We interrupt our program for yet another special police message. The search for the dangerous madman who is on the loose in Essex has now narrowed to the immediate vicinity of Muldoon Manor. Police are hampered by the deadly swamps and the fog, but believe that the madman spent last night in a deserted cottage on the cliffs. The public is advised to stick together and make sure that none of their number is missing. That is the end of the police message.
Where's Simon?
Who?
Simon, have you seen him? No. Have you, Magnus?
No.
Oh,
Yes, there's something foreboding in the air. It is as if one of us...
oh, Felicity, the house is locked up tight. No one can get in, and the police are practically on our doorstep.
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
It's only the fog.
Hound will never get through on a day like this.
fog. He means the inspector.
Is he bringing a dog?
Not that I know of.
Never get through the swamps. Yes, I'm afraid the madman can show his hand in safety now.
What's that? It sounded like the cry of a gigantic hound.
Rings a bell.
Poor devil.
There it is again. It's coming this way. It's right outside the house. Inspector Hound. A police dog?
Lady Muldoon,
Yes.
I came as soon as I could. Where shall I put my foghorn and my swamp boots?
Mrs. Drudge will take them out. Be prepared, as the force's motto has it. Eh, Inspector? How very resourceful.
It takes more than a bit of weather to keep a policeman from his duty.
Inspector Hound. Felicity Cunningham and Major Magnus Muldoon.
Good evening.
Well,
sorry.
Well, no, do go on.
Thank you. Well, tell me about it in your own words. Take your time. Begin at the beginning and don't leave anything out.
I beg your pardon?
Fear nothing. You are in safe hands now. Ow! Excuse me. I hope you haven't touched anything.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I am Inspector Hound.
Yes?
Well, what's it all about?
I really have no idea.
How did it begin?
What?
The thing.
What thing?
The trouble.
There hasn't been any trouble.
Didn't you phone the police?
No, I didn't.
What for?
I see. This puts me in a very difficult position. Well, I'll be getting along then.
I'm terribly sorry.
That's perfectly all right.
Thank you so much for coming.
Not at all. You never know. There might have been a serious matter.
Drink?
More serious than that, even.
Drink before you go?
No, thank you.
I do hope you find him.
Find whom, madam? Out with it.
I thought you were looking for a lunatic.
And what do you know about that?
It was on the radio?
Was it indeed? Well, that's what I'm here about, really. I didn't want to mention it before because I didn't know how much you knew. No point in causing unnecessary panic, even with a murder in our midst.
Murder, did you say?
Ah, so that was not on the radio.
Whom has he murdered, Inspector?
Perhaps no one. Yet. Let us hope we are in time.
Do you believe he's in our midst, Inspector?
I do. If any one of you have recently encountered a youngish, good-looking fellow in a smart suit, white shirt, hatless, well-spoken, someone possibly claiming to have just moved into the neighborhood, someone who on the surface seems as sane as you or I. Oh,
You reckless bastard!
I'm terribly sorry. Then now is the time to speak. Don't interrupt.
Inspector!
Very well.
No, Felicity.
Please, Lady Cynthia. We're all in this together. I must ask you to put yourself completely in my hands.
Oh, I can't, Inspector. I love Albert.
I don't think you quite grasp my meaning.
Is one of us in danger, Inspector?
Didn't it strike you as odd that on his escape, the madman made a beeline for Muldoon Manor?
No.
Oh. Well, it is my guess that he bears a deep-seated grudge against someone in this very house. Lady Muldoon, where is your husband?
My husband? You don't mean?
I don't know, but I have reason to believe that one of you is the real McCoy.
The real what?
William Herbert McCoy, who was a young man, and meeting the madman in the street, and being solicited for 6 pence for a cup of tea, replied,
"Why don't you do a decent day's work, you shifty old bag of horse manure?"
in Canada all those years ago. Our madman was a mere boy at the time, but he never forgot that insult, and thenceforth carried in his heart the promise of revenge. Is there anything you've forgotten to tell me?
Oh, so the madman has struck! Oh, it's horrible, horrible!
Yes, just as I feared. Now you see the sort of man you're protecting?
I can't believe it! Cynthia, I'll have to tell him.
Inspector, a stranger of that description has indeed appeared in our midst. Simon Gascoigne.
Oh, he had charm. I'll give you that. He took me in completely. I'm afraid I made a fool of myself over him.
And so did Cynthia.
Where is he? Where is he now?
He must be around the house. He couldn't have gotten away in these conditions.
You're right. Fear not, Lady Muldoon. I shall apprehend the man who killed your husband.
My husband? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Everything points to Gascoigne.
But who's that?
Your husband.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I tell you, it's not.
Are you sure?
For goodness sake.
Then who is it?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I've never seen him before.
Quite unlike anyone I've ever met.
I've seemed to made a very dreadful mistake, Lady Muldoon. I do apologize.
But what are we going to do?
I'll phone the police.
But you are the police.
Well, thank God I'm here. The lines have been cut. We're on our own, cut off from the world, and in grave danger.
You mean?
Yes. I think the killer will strike again.
You mean?
Yes. One of us ordinary mortals, thrown together by fate and cut off by the elements, is the murderer. He must be found. Search the house.
Anyone about? Funny.
This is where Simon gets it.
Oh! Oh!
He's dead. Simon Gascoigne, I presume. Left justice, even for a killer. Unless we assume that the body cannot have been lying there before Simon Gascoigne entered the house, but... There's your answer. And now, who killed Simon Gascoigne? And why?
not?
Exactly. Good riddance.
Yes, getting away with murder would be quite easy, provided one's motives are sufficiently inscrutable.
Fickle young pup. He was deceiving her left, right, and
But
center.
I'd still have Puckridge behind me.
She needs someone steadier, more mature.
And if I could, so could he.
Yes, I know of this rather nice hotel. Very discreet. Run by a man of the world.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Breakfast served in one's bed, no questions asked.
Does Puckridge dream of me?
Hello?
What?
What happened?
Yes. What do you think of it so far?
It is at this point that the play for me comes alive. The groundwork has been well and truly laid, and the author has taken the trouble to learn from the masters of the genre. He has created a real situation and few will doubt his ability to resolve it with a startling denouement. That is what it so far lacks, but it has a beginning, a middle, and I'll have no doubt it will prove to have an end. For this, let us give thanks and double thanks for a good clean show without a trace of smut. But perhaps all of that would have been for nothing if it weren't for a performance which I consider to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theater. What is possibly the finest, Cynthia, since the war.
We examine this more closely, and I think close examination is the least tribute that this play deserves. I think that we will find within the astute framework of what seems to be on one level, the country home weekend, and what a useful symbol that is, I think that we will find that the author has given us, yes, he has given us the human condition.
More talent in her littlest finger.
An uncanny ear that might have belonged to a Van Gogh.
A public scandal that the Queen has thus far neglected.
Faced as we are with such ubiquitous obliquity, it is hard. It is hard indeed, and therefore I will not stop from invoking the names of Kafka, Sartre, Shakespeare, St. Paul, Beckett, Burkett, Dante, and Dorothy L. Sayers.
A rattling good evening out, I was held.
Harder still, if at all possible, is the thought of what... Harder still, if at all Dante and Dorothy L. Sayers. Harder still, if at all possible, to see that when I did...
Hello? For God's sake, Myrtle, I've told you never to put me at work. What? Last night? Oh, I took it at dinner simply by way of keeping all faith with the world of paint and motley. Yes, I promised. Yes, I do. Yes, I said yes. And you are mine too, Myrtle, the darling. I can't. I'm not alone. No, she's not. All right. I love your little pink ears and your own fluffy bunny boo. Now, for God's sake, goodbye.
Out! You!
Yes. Hello again.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was passing and...
Honestly, darling, you really are extraordinary.
Yes, well, here I am.
You must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered, but couldn't wait till I got back.
No, you've got it all wrong.
What is it?
And about last night. Perhaps we got carried away, a bit out of hand, perhaps.
What are you trying to say?
I want to call it off.
I see.
I didn't promise anything, and the fact is I have my reputation.
You don't have to say anymore.
And my wife, Myrtle. I don't know how she got to
Oh, the nerve!
I am sorry you found out like this.
You
I didn't mean-
philandering coward!
And I am sorry. I didn't mean those things I said. Yes, shows brilliant promise. I shall say sorry.
I will kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne!
Good God.
I've come to set up the card table, sir.
I can't stay for a game of cards.
Oh, Lady Cynthia will be disappointed.
You mean she wants to meet me?
Oh, yes, sir. I just told her and put her in quite a tizzy.
Yes, well, I think a man of my influence is not to be sneezed at. Yes, I think I have some small name for the make of certain reputations. Quite a tizzy, you say? Really?
What the hell are you doing? No! Stop making an ass out of yourself and come back.
I know what you're thinking. But the fact is, I consider her performance to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theater.
Darling.
Ah, good evening. I must say that your performance as of yet is one of the finest.
Don't
I've
say
ever...
anything for a moment. Just hold me.
All right. Let us throw off the hollow pretenses of the gimcrack codes we live by. Dear lady, from the moment I met you, I felt my whole life changing.
We can't go on meeting like this.
I'm not ashamed to proclaim nightly my love for you. But fortunately, that will not be necessary. I know of this rather nice hotel. Very discreet and run by a man of the world.
But darling, this is madness.
Yes, I am mad with love.
Please remember where we are.
I don't care. Let them think what they like. I love you.
Don't. I love Albert.
He's dead. Don't you understand? Albert's dead.
No, I'll never give up hope. Let me go. We are not free.
You mean Myrtle? She means nothing to me. Nothing. She's all cocoa and blue nylon furry slippers. Not a spark of creative genius, and her whole slumping, knee-length knickered body.
Oh, you're a cad, Simon. You'll use me and cast me aside as you've cast aside so many others.
No. Now that I've found you.
You're ruthless, so strong, so cruel.
Bergboot, have you taken leave of your tiny mind?
Stop. Can't you see you're making a fool of yourself?
She's right. You keep out of this.
Yes, it is Mrs. Dryden.
Should have closed the windows, my lady. The fog is beginning to roll up.
Yes, you'd better.
Look, they've got your number.
I'll leave on my own time, thank you very much.
It's the end of you. I suppose you know
I
that.
don't need any of your two-penny Grub Street prognostications. I found something bigger. And finer.
Or only Higgs.
And fetch the major down.
I think I hear him coming downstairs now.
Never had a chance! Ran right on in front of the wheels.
That reckless bastard!
I have witnesses.
Thank God. Magnus, this is Simon Gascoigne.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up?
Really? How do you like it here?
I couldn't take it night after night.
So you're still here? Of course he's still here. We're going to play cards. There's no need to introduce you two, is there? If I recall now that you, Simon, met me through Felicity, our mutual friend. Yes, Simon is an old friend.
Yes, I like to give young and upcomers the benefit of my... Of course, she lacks technique, as it were.
Last night.
I'm not talking about last night.
Indeed? Well, you deal, Felicity. Simon is so fun.
Did you see that, Moon? He tried to kill me. I told you it was Magnus. Not that it is Magnus.
Who is it then?
What?
You think he's not Magnus?
For God's sake, Moon, the facts are staring at you straight in the face. Magnus is not who he pretends to be. He's got his eye on Cynthia for one thing.
It's Gascoigne, isn't it?
Over my dead body.
I'll kill him if he comes between us.
For God's sake, sit down.
Simon?
I can't. She needs me, Moon. I've got to make up a four.
Right, who starts?
I do. I'll dummy for a no-bid rough and double my holdings on South's Queen.
Did I hear you say you saw Felicity last night, Simon? Paid 21 to trump my contract. Cynthia's turn.
Oh, and I'll trump your contract with 5 dummy no trumps there and move West Rook for the rebed and the banker ruff on the solo trick there.
Simon?
Would you mind doing that again?
And I'll ruff your dummy with 5 dummy no trumps there, and I'll support your rebid with the banker and the second trick there.
Then I call your bluff.
Well done, Simon. Strange how Simon appeared in the neighborhood from nowhere. We knew so little about him.
Right. Simon, it's your opening on the minor bid. Let's see. I think I'll overbid the spade convention with 2 kings gambit offered there. And move West Rook for the rebed and Queen's Bishop for there.
Fais vos jeux, rien ne va. Rouge et noir, 0.
Simon,
And I call your bluff.
I meld.
I have.
I rough.
I bluff.
Twist.
Bust.
Chuck.
Snap.
House thoughts? Not out.
Double top.
Bingo!
No, Simon, you're like sitting tonight.
We shall see. The night is not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
Red herring. Smell it a mile off. Yes, she's clean as a whistle. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen you before too, haven't I? Strange. Something funny about you.
Care for a spin around the rose garden, Cynthia?
No, Magnus, I must talk to Simon.
There's nothing there for you, you know.
You think so?
She's not gonna throw me over for a heavily disguised cripple. She knows which side her bread is buttered.
There's an old Canadian proverb.
Don't give me that. You Japs are not as smart as you think. Sooner or later you make your mistake. Incidentally, where was it I saw you? I've definitely got my shrewd
Simon?
suspicion.
Well, I think I'll go and oil my gun.
Double bluff. Seen it 1,000 times.
I think Magnus suspects something. And Felicity. Was there anything between you and Felicity?
Oh, no, that's all over now. I merely flattered her over a little drink. Told her she'd go far, that sort of thing. Dear me, the fuss that's been made over a simple flirtation.
If I find that you have falsely seduced me from my dear husband, Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne!
For God's sakes, pull yourself together.
I can't help it.
What the hell are you doing? You're turning this into a complete farce.
I know, but I can't live without her. I shall resign my position, of course. I'm a goner, I tell you. I don't care.
Birdboot, think of your family, your friends. I'm standing in the world of letters. For God's sakes, man, come back and sit down. Leave it alone. Birdboot, what are you doing? What's the matter with you?
It's Higgs!
What? It's Higgs! Don't be silly.
Gotta tell you, it's Higgs. I don't understand. He's dead.
Dead? What? He must have been lying there the entire time.
Kill Higgs!
What's he doing here? I'm standing in tonight.
Moon.
It's Ian Partridge now.
Moon.
But I swear
Oh my God, so that was it.
I swear I didn't.
Now I see.
I
Now I
swear
finally
didn't.
see it all.
Birdboot!
Oh my God, what happened, Inspector?
He's dead. That's a bit rough, isn't it? I admit, he was a fickle old bastard. But who would do this and why?
To say that is without pace. Point, fact, focus, interest, drama, wit, originality is to say simply, it does not have to be my cup of tea.
I'm sorry to be blunt, but there's no getting away from it. It lacks pace, a complete ragbag.
Yes, hysteria is no substitute for a claw.
It lacks elan.
Some of the cast seem to have given up acting altogether.
You know, I am not a prude, but I fail to see any reason for the shower of filth and sexual illusion foisted onto an unsuspected public in the guise of monarchy at all costs.
Is this your man, Inspector?
Yes.
It's Simon!
Yes. Poor... Is this some kind of joke?
If it is, Inspector, it's in very poor taste.
All right. I'm going to find out who did this. I want everyone to go back to the positions they occupied before the shot was fired. And no one shall leave the room.
I believe we all had the opportunity to fire the shot.
I am not the inspector.
But which one of us would want to?
Perhaps you, Major Magnus? Because he was onto you. Yes, he had toppled you right from the start. And you killed him just as he was about to reveal that you killed... this chap.
But what motive would there be for killing this chap? Who is this chap? Inspector.
I don't know. Quite anyone like well now, yes.
Inspector,
What? Yes.
Captain entered this room early in the day to close the windows and chanced to overhear a remark made by this deceased, Simon Gascoigne, to her ladyship. I will kill anyone who comes between us.
That's it then. This chap was obviously killed by, Simon!
But he didn't come between us.
And who then killed Simon?
Prior to that, Inspector, I also chanced to overhear a remark made by her ladyship to the deceased. I will kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
That's it then. It's by these chance remarks that we in the force build up our complete picture before moving in to make the arrest. It will not be long now, I fancy.
And I must warn you, anything that you say, Lady Muldoon,
Yes.
shall be...
I hated Simon Gascoigne, for he had me in his thrall, but I didn't kill him.
Subsequent to that reported remark, Inspector, I also chanced to overhear a remark made by Miss Cunningham. No doubt in the heat of the moment, but it stuck in my mind as these things do. I will kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
That's it. The final piece of the puzzle. I am now in a position to reveal the mystery. This man was obviously McCoy. And having met Gascoigne in the streets of Canada, and Gascoigne bidding him for money for a toffee apple. And him slapped him across the ear with a cry, "How's that for a grudge robber, you sniffling little workshide?" All those many years ago. Gascoigne bided his time, but in due course tracked him down to this very house. And, having on the way, met a simple, ambitious girl from the provinces. Told her I have no doubt she would go straight to the top. And she, taken in by his sophistication, and taken in by his promise to see her all right on that night, gave in to his simple desires. Perhaps she loved him, we shall never know. But in her hour of promised triumph, his eye fell upon another. Yes, I refer to you, Lady Muldoon. Only seeing her, there was no other woman for her. He was in her spell. He was willing to sacrifice everything. Even you, Felicity. And then, unexpectedly finding him here today, you found out the truth. There's a bitter argument between you two, which ended with your promise to kill him. A promise you carried out in this very room at your first opportunity. And I must warn you, anything
But
that you...
it doesn't make any sense.
Well, not at first glance, perhaps.
Could not McCoy have been killed by the same person who killed Simon?
But why should any of us want to kill a perfect stranger?
Perhaps he was not a stranger to one of us.
But Simon was the madman, wasn't he?
We only have your word for that, Inspector. We only have your word for a lot of things. For instance, McCoy. Who is he? Is his name McCoy? Or is there something else? Something quite unknown to us behind all this. Suppose, for instance, that the madman, having killed this unknown stranger for private and inscrutable reasons of his own, was disturbed before he could dispose of the body. So, having cut the telephone wires, he decided to return to the scene of the crime, masquerading as Police Inspector Hound.
I'm not mad. I'm almost
Only to
sure I'm
discover
not mad.
that in the house was a man, Simon Gascoigne, who recognized the corpse as a man against whom you had held a deep-seated grudge.
But I didn't kill. I'm almost sure.
I put it to you. Are you the real Inspector Hound?
You know damn well I am not.
I thought as much.
I only dream. I mean, sometimes I
So it
dream.
was you, the madman,
The killer!
That was horrible, horrible! The stranger in our midst.
Yes, we had a shrewd suspicion he would turn up here, and he walked into the trap.
What trap?
I'm not the real Magnus Muldoon. It was mere subterfuge. And I now reveal myself as...
You mean?
Yes, I am the real Inspector Hound.
Puckridge!
Stand where you are, or I'll shoot.
But you killed Higgs, and Burbu tried to tell me.
Stop! In the name of the law. I have waited a long time for this moment.
So you are the real Inspector Hound.
Not only that, I have been leading a double life.
You
At
mean?
least. It has been 10 long years. What? Don't you know me?
You mean?
Yes, it is I, Albert, who lost his memory and joined the police force, rising by merit to the rank of inspector. His past blotted out until fate cast him back into the home he had left behind. Back to the beautiful woman he had brought here as his girlish bride. In short, my darling, my memory has returned and your long wait is over.
Oh, Albert!
Puckridge, you cunning bastard.